Watching 48 Fastcast.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Margot Gray with your 48 Fastcast. This is our digital version of your top headlines in a short, condensed newscast. But today is all about the weather. This is a first alert weather day. It is so incredibly hot outside. So let's go over to Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis. Brad, we're seeing temperatures well above 100.
Yeah, anywhere from about 103 to 106 at times. And again, as I mentioned, if you live next to a cornfield, you've got even more humidity to work with, because that corn actually gives off what's called evapotranspiration. It's a big word for basically the corn is sweating out there. Here's a look at the 3-day forecast. Another first alert weather day tomorrow. We don't have any rain, nothing out there right now at all. And tomorrow we're going to be lucky with that 30% if we see any at all either. The heat index 106. Friday and Saturday we dropped the alert day, but it's still going to be hot. The heat index around 103 Friday. Scattered thunderstorm chances will increase as we go into Friday and Saturday. They have expanded the heat advisory to include counties up in southern Middle Tennessee. And even though you're not under this specific criteria in eastern Alabama, it's still going to be brutal out there. Overall, stay hydrated. Heat index tomorrow around Thursday afternoon, anywhere from 100 to 106. I'll have much more on this forecast and your 10-day coming up.
All right, let's go to DeKalb County, where first responders are on the scene of a crash involving 5 vehicles, including a DeKalb County deputy. This crash happened at the intersection of Highway 75 and Highway 40. This is in the middle of Henniger. We're told there are injuries, but we just don't know yet who is hurt or the extent of their injuries. The cause of this crash remains unknown. Huntsville Police, Madison Police, and the Madison County Sheriff's Office all announcing results of a recent operation cracking down on speeding on I-565. So on Monday, officers, deputies, and state troopers stopped more than 140 drivers in a span of 6 hours here, stretching from Wall Triana to Chapman Mountain. So 104 citations were issued and 79 written warnings were handed out, with one driver clocking a speed of 97 miles per hour. Madison County Sheriff Kevin Turner says when agencies come together for an operation just like this one, it sends a very clear message: slow down, drive responsibly, and help keep the roads safe. They just saturated that area, and that is the result. Well, in Athens, city leaders are working on a plan to bring improvements to Swan Creek Park. According to our news partners over at the Decatur Daily, officials are planning on adding pickleball courts and a Make-A-Wish field for those with special needs. So the improvements are waiting on approval of grant money before construction can get underway. As you know, temperatures are still rising during this first alert weather day, and Brad will have a more in-depth look at that forecast just after this quick break.
Today is a 48 First Alert Weather Day, sponsored by Mr. Reuter Plumbing for all your emergency plumbing services.
Oh, make sure you're staying hydrated. It's hot. 94 to 96, heat index about 101 to 105 this afternoon. And it's not going to get any better. In fact, it may get worse tomorrow. And the humidity is really going to start to climb as we enter the weekend. We'll go through that in just a second. But here's your 10-day forecast. 95 today, 95 tomorrow as well, and then 93 Friday. Friday's going to look different. We're going to show you why, and it's all because of the tropical system down along the Gulf Coast right now. 91 Saturday, Sunday. we're going to have more clouds, more showers and storms, so that's going to back the temperatures off, but the humidity is going to be sky high. And as we go on into next week, the chance for scattered thunderstorms and more heat. Look at these temperatures, 95 Tuesday, Wednesday 96, so potentially more first alert weather days due to heat. Heat-related illness, that's what today and tomorrow are all about. The thunderstorms come into play as we get into your Friday. You may feel faint or dizzy, but the first real indicator of heat exhaustion is going to be you're going to start cramping. In fact, I started doing a little bit of that today, working out in the garage myself. That's when you need to take a break, you need to go inside and rehydrate. As you get into heat stroke, you can start to see more of a rapid, strong pulse. You stop sweating. So as long as you're sweating, you're still okay, but you may have exhaustion. But when you stop sweating, that's a real red flag there, and you may lose consciousness. So if you think you're having a heat stroke, you need to call 911. Here is a look at the future heat index. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is where we were this morning, too. We're looking close to 100 degrees by 10 a.m. Notice the numbers just slightly lower in some of these areas in northeast Alabama, but it is still dangerously hot here, too. 7:30 Thursday evening, just like this evening, we're still going to have a heat index around 100 degrees. In fact, it's going to feel like the mid-90s through about 10 o'clock at night. As we get into Friday, notice more heat, but I think it's going to break sooner because of more showers and storms. Your Thursday, plenty of sunshine, not much rain. Here's the tropics, not much change here. One thing we're watching, and this is some good news, the farther north this area low pressure is, the less likely it's going to become a tropical storm, but this is still going to produce some flooding into Louisiana, probably southern Mississippi and eastern Texas. Here's a quick hour by hour. Notice what happens as we get into Thursday. We start to see this fetch of moisture lifting to the north. We don't have any real rapid circulation or development, so I don't think we're going to get a tropical storm the way it looks now. Friday, as we go into Friday, notice the noon hour. Look at the showers and thunderstorms coming in from the south. Very heavy rain producers, strong gusty winds, and a lot of lightning. As we go into Saturday, this will probably play itself out again. Daily rain chances will continue to be higher as we approach the weekend, but overall still relatively low tomorrow, and there's absolutely nothing out there right now. Another look at the parkway. It's a hot day. Make sure you stay hydrated. I'll have an update on that forecast coming up at 4, 5, and 6.
All right, that'll do it for your Fastcast. We'll be back online in just a few minutes with Before the 4 with AJ Weiss. And don't forget, we have your newscast coming up on TV at 4 o'clock. And of course, 5, 6, and 10. We'll have you covered. Have a good afternoon and drink that.